Yo, it's me again. It's T again. Spurs, man. This keeps happening. Up, down. One step forward, one step back. One step forward, one step back. We let Ronaldo sue us over. We got sued over by Ronaldo. That's what it was. I'm just. You can hear it in the sign, man. I'm disappointed because this is one of the weakest United sides I've seen. I keep saying in a while. Recently they have been quite weak, but I feel like this is a particularly weak side. They don't defend really well. They don't really have a midfield. They've got individual quality still, but as a team, they don't really have a lot. And Spurs have gone and given them. Spurs have given them a game out of nowhere in a time where you need Spurs to knuckle down. You need Spurs to prove what they're all about, and yet again, Tottenham just falls short. And people are coming out here doing all this mental champion bullshit. Listen, you need to demand more from your club. You need to demand more from the team. This is the problem. This is why Spurs continue to be the club and the team that they keep being. Because the expectations aren't higher and we're not demanding anything more. We need to demand more from what we're seeing. It was three terrible goals. Right? Everyone's going to say the first goal was unstoppable. Bruv, you're chatting shit. First goal, Betancourt's fault. Doesn't need to press. All he needs to do, drop off, um, let United go wide, or let them try and play through you and watch them lose the ball. That's all you really need to do. Betancourt presses, boom. They then do a 1-2. Ronaldo has acres of space. The defender can't then commit because there was a man behind him. So if he went to step out, then guess what? Ronaldo could just play an easy through ball, and you're probably looking at 1-0 anyway. And if not, you could have then been looking at like a penalty situation because the guy would have been 1-on-1. I think it was Fred. Fred, I think, would have been 1-on-1 and through with the keeper. It's so poor. All Betancourt needs to do is not press. And Ronaldo doesn't get the license to get that shot off. Yes, you can argue the keeping was a bit poor and Loris should be saving that. You can make the argument, but Betancourt shouldn't be pressing in that situation. He needs to hold his position. That's IQ. That's understanding. That's understanding what to do on the football pitch. This is basic stuff. Second goal. Second goal was just dreadful. Second goal was just dreadful. Regulon is clearly not watching the line. Keeps their player on side. I can't remember if it was Ronaldo, but whoever it is, he keeps their man on side. Poor. I think it was Sancho we kept on. I think it was Sancho we kept on side. Sorry, my memory isn't great. So I think it was Sancho, and then Sancho plays the cross. Ronaldo scores, but it was terrible. Keeps the man on side. All he's got to do is look across the line and step back. Boom, offside. And then look, that's two goals just off the rip. That doesn't happen. And the thing is, Spurs done okay to get themselves back in the game, and they had a lot of the ball, and they was trying to force the issue for most of it. But it's kind of like every time they got themselves back in the game, Spurs never really looked like they could push on. There wasn't that composure. There wasn't that authority. That's what Spurs lacked. Spurs lacked authority, and there ain't really much to say. Son was disappointing. I thought Kane, I know we scored a penalty. He was disappointing. Kulusevski, again, too inconsistent for me so far. I know everyone loves him, but it's one game good, one game bad. He's the epitome. Kulusevski's the epitome of Spurs at the moment. No, one game good, one game bad, one game good, one game bad. It's just not good enough at the moment, man. It's really not. It seems like with Kulusevski, if he can't get into certain positions, if he can't take up certain positions, he looks like he struggles. It's like there's no variation on his game. You know what he wants to kind of do, and if he's not able to do it, if you kind of limit the space that he's got, and kind of limit his angles, limit his options. He kind of, do you know what I mean? He looks rubbed. He looks like a rubbed player. Son really shouldn't be getting as many minutes as he's getting. Really like the guy is so out of form. He's so inconsistent, and that's one thing I have to get into Conte about. Why the fuck ain't Bergwijn playing? Like, why? Bergwijn's better than Son. Like, he'll be giving you better performances than what Son's giving you. They're different kind of players, but Bergwijn gives you more. And going into the game, Bergwijn was a player that I wanted to see play against United because I felt like he would hurt them. Spurs needed a little bit more quality and a little bit more care in the final third, particularly on the ball. Something that Son doesn't really give you. Son's a direct player. He's an outlet. He's someone that gets the ball and he's good. He's good when he's on the move. He's good when everything's in front of him. Because then he can use his quickness, he can use his quick feet, he can use his instinct. When the game slows down and you're asking Son to progress the player, you're asking Son to create out of nothing. Nah, he isn't that guy. He doesn't keep his head up. He doesn't scan the pitch. He makes a lot of wrong decisions. His technical abilities is very shaky. Bergwijn needs to play more at the moment. And the thing is, games like today, it just makes you wonder and go, why did Spurs get rid of Gill? Why did Spurs get rid of Ndombele? Why did Spurs get rid of Lo Celso and not bring in a creative midfielder? Why didn't Spurs sign a creative midfielder? I'll never know. Never know. It doesn't make sense. Games like today prove why. This team couldn't break them down. And it sounds weird because we scored 2 goals and we still have some good chances, but we couldn't break them down. They're not a great defensive team. They're really not. Far from it. But we couldn't break them down because we didn't have players that could actually get the ball, look up, move into the right spaces at the right time, make the right way of pass, right timing, when to execute, when to hold. We didn't have all of that. That's what elite creative players will give you. They'll give you that little bit of composure and that little bit of extra quality which Spurs just don't have. Everyone talk about Harry Kane, quarterback stuff. Listen, we need to allow it. I get it. Like Harry Kane can drop deep, he can pass, but he's not a creator. He's not a number 10. He's not. He ain't gonna be that guy that's gonna create like that. He isn't a Kevin De Bruyne. We need to stop talking about him like he's on that level because he can make a few long range passes. It's not that. Yeah, you're wasting Harry Kane when you do things like that on a consistent basis. I'm not saying you can't do it, but on a consistent basis, you're wasting him. Please, we need to stop. I'll get into the defense quickly because, listen, I'm a massive Romero fan and I can see the hype with Romero, but there's too many mistakes. There's too many hairy moments at the moment. And you kind of look at it and you think, okay, cool, yeah. He's gonna, he's just adjusting, he's gonna improve, but it's the same mistakes, it's the same thing. Once again, getting bullied in the air. You're letting Ronaldo, CR7 in 2022 dunked on Spurs. He scored a hat-trick. Let that sink in. Cristiano Ronaldo today scored a hat-trick. That's mad. Romero's got to do better for the goal. Has to do better for the goal. He let Ronaldo completely outmuscle, outmaneuver and bully him. And this seems to be something that Romero struggles with. Aerially, he seems to be getting bullied too much at the moment. I think he's a good defender, but there's too many mistakes. And if I'm Conte and I'm looking at that team, the first thing I'm looking at doing is getting a big towering centre back, someone that's good in the air, someone that's like 6'3", 6'4", and they're really, really, really good aerially. Someone that can just read the game, man. Schlotterbeck, Salisu, please just get one of those guys. Please, like they're 2 names, they fit. They're of the right size, they're of the right stature. They have the right physical dominance. Please, we need that, man. We need a tall centre back. I don't want Gvardiol. I don't want Bastoni and De Vrij and I don't want those guys. I'll be real. And then I could get into the double pivot, but I've touched on it already, man. And what else is there to really say? it's just not good enough. Spurs' midfield needs to get better. They need to look at getting a creative player. And games like today, you kind of see the issues that Spurs have in terms of like their squad, how it's been assembled. Um, is there anything to really say about Conte? How much of this is really him? You know, I've not been a massive advocate of the Conte appointment in the first place. I felt like Spurs needed to go in a completely different direction and just rebuild. But then at the same time, you've got Daniel Levy, you've got Paratici, so you know, actively having someone like that, actively having those two, sorry, and then getting like maybe an inexperienced manager or a manager who isn't Conte, that could just be suicidal because you're looking at two incompetent bums there. But how much of this can I really turn around and say is Conte? Like I don't know at the moment. I do feel like he needs to maybe experiment a little bit more with some of his players. Trust, make a few more changes. I know Cesc was injured today, and I actually think that harmed Tottenham more than fans want to admit. Bergwijn for me needs to be getting more game time. I'd like to see like Dane Scarlett get a few more minutes. Skip, we desperately need Skip back. Um, but the problem is there ain't really anywhere Spurs can go at the moment, man. And even though Tottenham's performances are too inconsistent and Conte's been very inconsistent at the moment, I don't know how much of that I can actually put on him. I really don't. Um, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt for now. Obviously, he needs a summer. He needs to get more. He needs to get his own players in. Spurs need to bring in more players. I'll have a better understanding of like where he is and where the club will be completely next year. There are things that I do think he needs to change and work on and improve on, of course. But I also recognise that his hands are tied and this team at the moment just isn't quite good enough. I say isn't quite, they're just not good enough. And once fans start demanding more from Daniel Levy and they start demanding more and they start demanding better from the club, Spurs will always be in this mediocre bubble. In this mediocre bubble, thinking they're going to be great and end up falling short every time. This video's been long enough though. I don't wanna keep rambling on about the same things. So thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, just all of that and anything else. I'm out. Peace.